Good evening and welcome to a new edition of To The Point. Around 52 years ago, Egypt started its journey of sacrifices. 52 years ago, Lieutenant General Abdelmenem Riyad was sacrificed. He was a martyr. And since that day, on March 9th, Egypt has been dedicating that day to honor the souls of its heroes who sacrificed their lives, its heroes who gave up everything for us to live in security, in stability, to preserve our dignity. On this occasion, the armed forces held its cultural symposium this year under the title, "If It Were Not For Them, We Would Not Be Here." And this evening on To The Point, we want to delve a little bit more into what has Egypt sacrificed, and in the wake of the sacrifice, what have we achieved? We'll be discussing this in a few moments with a distinguished lady, but before we do so, we'll take a look at the following report and continue our discussion.
The 33rd Armed Forces Cultural Symposium was held on Tuesday, dedicated to mark Martyrs' Day. Addressing the symposium, which was held under the title, "If Not For Them, We Wouldn't Be Here," President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi said Egypt does not forget its martyrs, adding that the legends of the martyrs who sacrificed their lives for the nation urge all Egyptians to preserve their country. President el-Sisi said all respect and appreciation for the Egyptian martyrs, stressing that protecting the nation is not an easy task and a task that requires true sacrifice. The head of state reiterated that if not for the sacrifices of these martyrs, security and stability would not be attained. El-Sisi affirmed Egypt would witness the birth of a new state and a new republic with the inauguration of the new administrative capital. The president said the region has witnessed developments that destroy the concept of the national state, hailing the role of the armed forces, the police forces as well, in countering any forces of destruction. As for the coronavirus pandemic, he added the medical team's task during the crisis is also highly appreciated. El-Sisi said the state seeks to make citizens' lives better through the Decent Life Initiative. The president said encroachment on agricultural lands must be stopped, as well as the acceleration of illegal construction. During the symposium, President el-Sisi honored the families of the martyrs and the wounded in the military operations. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli and the Defense Minister General Mohammed Zaki and a number of ministers and senior officials attended the event.
الأرض الدفاع عنها فرض، والتضحية وعد، والوعد مكتوب على الجبين، والغالي يرخص لك، ودمي مهرك لأجل نحمي البلاد ونشوف أمل بكرة في عيون الولاد. لولاهم ما كنا هنا. 9 مارس يوم الشهيد.
شباب زي الورد ادونا حياتهم ولسه هيدونا، ضحوا بالعمر نفسه، ولا كانوا مستنيين مال ولا شهرة، ولا كانوا فاكرين وهم بيضحوا انه في حد هيعرفهم من اساسه. عملوا كل ده عشان مصر. مشوار البطولة بتاع الناس دي كان من نوع تاني خالص.
كان صوت نداء الواجب كان في قلبه أعلى من كل تعلق بدنيته، فباع روحه لربه بنفس طيبة، فدى ظهره للأمان وصدره لصد العدوان.
دي دماء بذلت لأجل حماية الناس وحماية الوطن والحفاظ عليه.
لولاهم ما كنا هنا. 9 مارس يوم الشهيد.
Welcome back. With us on the phone is Her Excellency Ambassador Dr. Moshira Khattab, former Assistant Foreign Minister and former Minister of Family and Population. Your Excellency, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Good evening.
Good evening. It's a very, very special day that we've always dedicated to the lives of the heroes we have lost who sacrificed their lives for our own safety and security. And we're always, the state on a formal level is doing its share by honoring them, by taking care of their families. Yet, what would be our role, the people, the Egyptian people's role on such an occasion? What do we owe those heroes that lost their lives?
Yes, we owe them a lot. The Martyrs' Day is a day of remembrance for those who sacrificed their lives for our nation. If it were not for them, we wouldn't be where we are now. So we, on this day, we must salute our heroes of all ranks and files of our armed forces. And we have to learn that we live in a country that lies at a very strategic location, and this has cost us a lot. We have been pushed on several wars. We fought for Palestine, and we fought to protect our land. And we as individuals, we must be cognizant of the value, of the worth of our nation, and we must spare no effort to make our nation the best. We can do it by being more diligent about what we do. And on this very day, when we talk about the martyrs, and as the global community faces COVID-19, this terrible pandemic, we must remember we medical and paramedical people who lost their lives while helping the sick and fragile people because of the pandemic. So it's really a day to remember, and a day to learn the lesson, and a day to renew our commitment towards our land.
Yes.
And I also want to say that we celebrate the Martyrs' Day on the 9th, and one day before it, we celebrate the International Women's Day.
Yes, the wives of the martyrs.
Yeah, and we must remember the role of women in peace and security.
Yes.
When women are enabled and empowered to enjoy their rights, people will enjoy peace and security. The entire community will enjoy peace and security. And we as Egypt, we have been instrumental in adopting the UN Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace and security, and it's issuing resolutions, and this was 2000. We were celebrating 21 years on the adoption of the Women, Peace and Security Action Plan. So we have to remember women, we have to remember the role of women, and here in Egypt we still remember the heroic role played by women in 1919 revolution.
Yes. Whenever we talk about women and their rights, let us also talk about how giving them the rights, is it in any way connected to our battle against terrorism, for example? If we educate women more, if we empower women more, will we be able to stand up to ferocious terrorist movements that are brainwashing our young generation? Is this in any way connected?
Of course, it is absolutely connected. As we celebrate the Martyrs' Day, as we remember the role of women, we have to renew our resolve to fight and eliminate violent extremism.
Yes.
And by educating women, you disseminate the knowledge about peace. And when you educate young children, you have to educate them also about peace. And we have to know that women at the forefront, when any nation faces conflict situation, it's women who suffer most. And it's women who are able to build peace and keep the peace and reconstruct the society after the conflict. So terrorism is a result of violent extremism, and violent extremism targets women more than anyone. The whole thing is centered around women and putting women or pushing women to the back as inferior. Women are not only victims of violent extremism and terrorism and wars, but they're also makers of peace. So enabling women to enjoy their rightful place in society will consolidate peace.
The development of the young generation, unfortunately, we have a lot that are being influenced by outside forces that really want just to keep brainwashing those young, precious minds towards committing acts of terrorism and violence. They are brainwashed, thinking that they're serving religious and even political purposes. This occasion makes us really revisit. How do you see Egypt's the steps that we have taken so far to fight extremism, to fight such movements that really affect our young minds? How do you see us moving on that front?
I want to thank you very much for raising this question, because the whole world, not only Egypt, the whole world is facing a problem now that ISIS, Daesh, has been defeated. Many of the young people who were lured into joining them will have to go back. Now, funds have dried, and these people cannot tolerate living in the camps, in the refugee camps. European countries refuse to return the former Daesh people or ISIS young people, so they will be pushed back to their original countries. And this will be a big problem facing the South. So we have to be prepared through educating the society and diffusing the arguments that encourages young people to be extremists, to be violent, to belittle their homelands and go after mirage. Education here is very, very important, and raising awareness of this situation. And we know that now through social media, it's easy to indoctrinate. It's easy to militarize the young generation. So through the same means, through social media, we have to disseminate knowledge about the evil intentions of such mercenaries. And the religious leaders must be at the forefront of the awareness campaign. They must explain that no religion on earth calls for violence or calls for killing human beings. And here I want to flag again the human fraternity document that was signed between Sheikh Al-Azhar and Pope Francis, that it condemns the killing. It reaffirms that we are all equal in dignity and equal in the enjoyment of our rights, regardless of gender, religion, race, political orientation, geographic location, ability, disability. We are all equal in dignity. So men are equal to women. The poor should enjoy the same rights like the rich. Those who live in very remote areas should have the same services like those who live in the capital. And here I would like to salute the initiative of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Hayat Karima, and his effort to modernize or improve the situation in the villages, الريف المصري. This is very important. This is it's all about economic, social, and cultural rights, and it's all about being equal. It's not because I live in a remote village in Upper Egypt that I cannot go to school, or the quality of education in my school is not the same like those who live in affluent suburbs of Cairo.
Yes.
So this document is very important, and this document must be implemented now that
Yes.
we are talking about those who sacrifice their life to protect the nation. Wars are no longer the classical wars with guns. It's the wars of minds. And we have to be vigilant of this and put our hands together, educational institutions, the media, religious, what have you, to raise awareness that our nation is our haven, and we must protect our nation by excelling in everything we do, by being honest, by being transparent, by not abusing people because we are in a place of power and they are vulnerable or marginalized. This is the new definition of war, the new definition of peace, peacekeeping, and peace building. And women are at the forefront of peacekeeping, peace building, and reconstructing the society after conflict situation. And now, as we speak, the post-COVID-19 reconstruction of the systems, the health systems, and thank God we could sail through this pandemic so far. Our economy is doing fine, but we need to work harder and we need to be more vigilant.
Your Excellency, what message would you be directing to young Egyptians today that are living this special occasion? What do they owe their fathers and their uncles and their grandparents who have lost their lives to secure this country? What message would you be directing to them?
I want to tell them, be grateful that you're born in this country. Be grateful for your ancestors. Be grateful for those in charge who are trying to put Egypt where it belongs. And you have to believe in your country. And you have to be, how can I say, cherish. Not only believe, but be proud. And know that you are the strongest strata of the society. You are the trendsetter. You are the influencer. So you teach your parents, you teach your uncles, you teach your grandfather, because you are the vibrant, strong, energetic segment of the society. So if you are a student, study hard. If you work, excel in what you do and don't compromise. And if you are in a public service, spare no effort to serve the people you were paid to serve. And now, as we are gearing to go to the new capital of Egypt, العاصمة الإدارية الجديدة,
yes.
And the state, I really salute the Prime Minister for what he said. He said, we are not moving to another place. but we are developing ourselves. نحن نتطور. So I'm glad that before they move, they are taking training courses, because you need a new set of mind in the new capital, because the president today said we're going to the second republic or to a new republic. So it's not only changing office or changing location. You have to change your mindset. Bureaucracy can be good because it's a system, but bureaucracy can be a killer if you use your power to stall in delivering the service to those who deserve it. So we have to be transparent, we have to be diligent, we have to be efficient and expedient. This is a new phase for Egypt, and a new beginning to shed off the evil of bureaucracy, the red tape that we Egyptians have been suffering from for decades over decades. And now it's the time to face the music. We are trying to reform now, and it's a testing time. We have to be transparent. What was possible years back is not possible now. People have rights. So if I am an employee in any place giving service to the public, I have to be efficient, do not delay, do your best to make your customer satisfied. This is the message I tell everybody. We have to be more vigilant in serving our country.
Your Excellency, Dr. Moshira Khattab, former Minister of Family and Population, thank you very much for your fruitful input. We'll be continuing with our discussion. Worth noting that one of the key issues to preserving any security and stability and to actually eliminate terrorism is also to eliminate pockets of destruction. Regional conflicts have to be addressed, and we'll be discussing that in a few moments, so please stay with us.